Hi guys, Coach Hunt here again. This is something that we are going to be using to help you with your essay. Should make it as easy as we possibly can. So what this document is, and this is already uploaded to Canvas, it is an essay outline for you to use to create your rough draft. Now, we are not requiring this. This is not going to be turned in. All we're looking at your final. But if you're somebody who struggles with the process and making sure you know, like, well, what do I need to write next and what sentences and that sort of thing, this will guide you all the way through. So let's take a look at it and make sure that we are good with what we're doing. It is a paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence breakdown of everything you need to make sure you have your essay in order. So it starts with our introduction. Sentences 1 and 2, this is where you're going to introduce the hook. So this can be a topic, something like that. And this is where you're going to introduce the author and title of the book as well. So we talked about your hook being a rhetorical question, a quote, a statistic, whatever it is that you want to use, that's fine. Put that here. All you're going to do is write your hook in this sentence. Now, if we scroll down, the next sentence is 3 and 4. So just 2 sentences here. Elaborate on the topic. This is where you're going to talk about the person that you are blaming for Romeo and Juliet being dead in very broad terms. Who are they in the story? What role do they play? How are they connected to our characters? That sort of thing. This is not where you're given the reasons. This is where you're just explaining who it is. So, if I were going to say that Peter, the nurse's servant, was ultimately responsible, you're going to have a hard time making that one, so I don't know if I would use this one. But if I were to say him, this is where I would talk about Peter as the nurse's servant who isn't able to read, and he's the go-between. He's the one who talks to everyone about the party. He knows sort of what the nurse knows. Right? I'm talking about him in very broad terms, but I'm not giving exact reasons as to why he's ultimately responsible. Now we move to our thesis statement. This is going to be the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. We've given you a frame here. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. So right here, where it says, or where it's highlighted in yellow, so in blank is ultimately responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet. All you have to do, write their name, whoever you think it is ultimately responsible for the deaths because. Reason 1, what is the first reason that you think they are responsible? They did this action, they took this thing, they did this, whatever it is. That's reason 1. And reason 2, what other thing did they do that would make them responsible? These are your body paragraphs. This right here, reason 1 is body paragraph 1. Reason 2 is body paragraph 2. The one thing you have to be very careful about here with your 2 reasons though, and I want to kind of reiterate this a little bit. Make sure that your 2 reasons are different. Make sure that you're not saying the same thing twice, right? So make sure you're not saying, that, or just make sure that they're distinct. They're 2 separate differences. If you're talking about Friar Lawrence, for instance, if you want to say the plan is one of his reasons, he's the reason because he came up with this crazy plan. That's fine, but make sure you have a second reason as well that is not related to the plan at all. Right, so make sure there are 2 distinct and separate reasons. You are now done with your first introductory paragraph. That's it, right here. Right? A hook, introduce the book and the author, talk about your character in general, and now your thesis statement. Fill in the blanks. Body paragraph 1, your topic sentence. It's going to be real simple. It's straight from your thesis statement above. So-and-so is responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet because, and list your reason. What's the reason for it? Give us the textual evidence. Make sure it has a lead-in and a citation, right? What's the quote you are using? Your third sentence is the analysis. This is where you start to talk about it. Give it some context. What's happening in the play when this line is spoken? What's going on when they say this line? Next, how does this quote show that they are responsible? How does this quote lead the reader to believe that the action they took makes them responsible for the death of Romeo and Juliet? That's all you're doing for your first quote, or for all of your quotes, really, right? Give it some context, what's going on when they say it, and how does it explain it? This says sentence 4. I'm actually going to update this a little bit and say sentence 4 to 5. You may need, and I'm going to put a little question mark, you may need more than 1 sentence for this, and if you do, that's totally fine. If you can do it in 1 good sentence, that's okay as well. Now, we are repeating. Same thing. You have your textual evidence. Give us the quote, lead in citation, give us some context. How does it support this reason? This shows also that this is the reason why and they're responsible for it. And then finally, we have a transition as we wrap up and head to our next body paragraph, something along the lines of, not only did so-and-so do this to help, that led to the ultimate deaths of Romeo and Juliet, they did more as well, whatever, however you want to phrase it. And now we move to body paragraph 2. Topic sentence, this is your second reason. The other reason that so-and-so is responsible for the deaths of Romeo and Juliet is, and tell us what your second reason is. With your quotes, it's the same thing as body paragraph 2, right? We're being very formulaic here. That's okay. Give us the quote, lead in citation, context. How does it support your claim that that person is responsible? Do the same thing for your fourth quote. Body paragraph 2, wrap it up, and now you're done with your body paragraphs. This is simple, right? Sentence by sentence, this tells you exactly what to write. We sort of did a little paint by numbers here. The last paragraph is your conclusion. Restate your claim, make kind of a final argument. Don't just rewrite your thesis though. Sentences 3 and 4 here, or 2 and 3, excuse me. Kind of state your points. Very broad terms though. Don't give us a lot of detail again. You've already done that in your body paragraphs. We don't need it again. And then finally, your final sentence, try and find some way of bringing it back to your hook. Right? And remember, your hook should be dealing with who's responsible. So make sure you're not using a quote about like love at first sight or something like that. It needs to be responsible for their death. Right? So if we scroll back up, we can look at this sentence by sentence. It's 4 pages, but if you fill this out, this is your rough draft. And once you've done this, when it comes time to be ready to turn this in, all you have to do is take this document and type it up. Turn it into paragraphs. If you do that, you are golden. And you'll be done, and you won't have a whole lot of issues with this. So take a look at this. Use this if you need it. Again, we're not collecting this. This is not something you're turning in, but it is something that can be very helpful for you as you go through the process here. If you're struggling with what you need to write, or what should I be putting in this paragraph, or what do I need to do with my textual evidence, or whatever it happens to be that you're struggling with, use this. Let it be your guide. It will make your life much, much easier. All right, if you have any questions, please email me. This will be up on Canvas. It actually is up on Canvas already. So email. If you have any questions, I'll get back to you and I'll answer them right away. So make sure we are using our resources. I will also put up some brainstorming graphic organizers if you want to use, just to kind of help figure out who you might think is responsible if you're struggling with that as well. So that's where we are with our paper. This is due, remember, April 14th by midnight to turnitin.com. So make sure you are using this week wisely. This is all we're doing. We'll be doing some check-ins throughout the week to see where we are, but we are not having any daily assignments. This is just like if we were in class, where it would be, okay, Monday we're going to talk about the paper and brainstorm. Tuesday, you need to start finding quotes. Wednesday, you need to start writing your rough draft. Thursday, finish writing that rough draft, start typing your final. Friday, edit, get it ready. If you want to take spring break off, I don't blame you. Come back Monday, edit, proofread, make sure it's perfect. Tuesday, upload. Paper is now done. All right, nice and simple. I will put what I just said, that breakdown day by day, up on Canvas by probably tonight or tomorrow morning, so you can see that to kind of pace yourself to make sure you're on track. But that's all we're doing with this. So again, if you have questions, let us know, email, and we'll get back to you. Good luck with this. Don't overthink it. Just follow the steps. Use this outline, and you will be in good shape. All right, bye guys.